Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining me as always, especially today. Happy May Day. It is May 1st, 2024. So with May 1st typically being the basically celebration of the Labour Party Day. So let's go into what's going on with the markets because it's quite something. So MMRI, our main risk indicator, jumped even higher yesterday into risk territory. The markets had quite the drop, hit more into the fear territory. So what is going on here? If you are watching, as we always say, the 10-year yield and the relative strength of the dollar both rose. So that put pressure in the markets. And it all pretty much boils down to the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. They started their meeting yesterday. They will be speaking this afternoon at 2 o'clock. That will be the marker time to watch when he starts speaking after 2 p.m. So what effect that had, the Dow dropped, as it says, 570 points to end the worst month of 2024. So that's the worst out of four. As basically traders watching for this Fed rate decision today. So my personal thoughts on this are that Fed Chair Powell knows he can't rock the market, so they're going to try to keep it as level as possible, not looking at hiking or even cutting. I don't think they will do either today, and they will be watching their language very carefully. So we've got another basically opinion coming out. U.S. economist warning that inflation threat is gravely understated, and I agree with that. There's the other side of inflation is really that's because of the debt market that pushes that inflation. As they say inflation, that just means expansion. So expansion of the money supply, which is through the debt market. So that's what we watch in the 10-year yield. So looking at our stocks down, NASDAQ also took quite the hit yesterday. We were looking at a lot of things. The only thing up is the volatility index, fear trading. So you can make a good amount of money as long as you watch what's going on, able to switch sides and manage your risks into these trades. So gold and oil both as well under pressure. So it's slightly surprising. Generally, there is move into gold on the fear trade. It appears mostly that this has gone into silver. Talk about that in a bit. So we've got the futures down as well. Not looking so good this morning. So the sentiment is bearish. We also had consumer confidence coming out that took quite the hit. So MayDay sums it up. Bit of trouble here. Fed speaking, the world listens. We will be having a Discord today. I'll go in if anyone would like to discuss some of these things live. Whatever you would like to speak about, please leave it in the comments. And I can see you after that. There is also a link in the description. You're welcome to join, speak for any period of time you would like, or just listen in. So going into calendar and earnings today, we've got employment numbers coming out before the market open. I'll be watching those very carefully, watching construction spending, and then, of course, 2 o'clock. Fed Chair Powell comes out at 2:30. So we're also getting auto sales aftermarket. I expect that to be not so good. Thursday, prior to market open, more jobless claims. We know those numbers that come out, they get revised. So as they've been reporting, every single report for the past, I think it's been 10 months, has been revised down. So we're watching, these are still the earnings reports from major companies, watching MasterCard, also Barrick Gold, Devon Energy, and a few others. So this is Thursday coming out prior to market open, namely Novo Nordisk and Moderna. So those will be on a lot of radars. Okay, lending and banks. Finally, they're talking about the same thing we've been discussing. Recent deals, a sign of bank merger and acquisition resurgence. We know a lot more of these have to either fail or get basically cutting down the numbers. They're going to be purchased by others, taken over, or just drop out completely. So with the dollar near 5-month highs, That is what crushed markets yesterday. And we're also watching some currency movements going on. We'll talk about that a little more as well. So, with banks are now being required to have certain amount of reserve, so that if people come in for basically there's bank runs going on right now. So, as people come in there, they've got capital rules that will protect them. So you can only withdraw so much of your own, quote unquote, your own money. If they've got it, it's not yours. And also having reserve requirements on deposit. So they're getting new ways to where they're uh, just kind of swapping this money back and forth in a new scheme. We've also got Bank of England telling payment firms to step up basically what could happen with payment disruptions. So watching those risks because they know what's coming. We've got huge foreign exchange gains are the benefit of Japan's, basically the intervention. So what they did was they are playing with the currency that had a precipitous drop the other days with their currency weak. They're talking about the Bank of Japan holding fast. They do not want to intervene directly, so they're working basically under the table. So with other banks, we're watching a physical version of the gold-backed token replacing Zimbabwe dollar. They're calling it the ZIG, and they are requiring banks, companies to pay at least 25% of their taxes in the new currency. So it's not gold-backed. You can't redeem it for gold directly, but it is tied to the price of gold as well as some other currencies, which is a huge step forward. So we've got crypto washout sending Bitcoin below 58,000 ahead of the decision. They don't want to in cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin. So there's a large manipulation going on. Can it head lower? Yes. Showing other levels down at 56,000, 52,000, and very low at 48. Is it possible it hits these levels? Yes. Not selling mine personally. I've still got a lot of room for myself to go. Not going to talk too much about that, but watching this because they're really trying to cut this out. And this is, in my mind, one more way to trade outside their system. I know a lot of people don't like cryptocurrencies, but it's got a lot of advantage. When I try to cross borders, they're going to take any gold I may have on me, but they cannot take this. So that's why it's becoming huge. We've got the IMF approving $120 million of support. This is financing support to Mali. So there's a huge difference between giving them support in the way we are giving support to Ukraine with our bombs. Basically, the United States just funding all of these wars going there. They're not loans. And this is the critical difference here. So they're approving $120 million of financing that they don't expect that they can pay back basically in dollars because they've got interest on this. So this is basically a resource grab. So let's go up back to what we're watching here, Ripple breaking ground in Japan. So this is, of course, on the back of this yen issues that they're having with the volatility. We've got 3M cutting their dividend for the first time 6 decades of hikes. So this is showing the lack of strength in companies. 3M is a behemoth. They're cutting their corporate basically earnings, cutting dividends to their investors. This is a huge warning sign. We've also got Google paying up to $6 million to News Corp in order to train their artificial intelligence Gemini. So cutting back on their labor, cutting down jobs, and paying for training for artificial intelligence. This is the direction things are headed. So I told you I would bring up silver again. It's facing historical deficit for demand in industrialization. So this is used in batteries, used in bombs, and there is now a deficit. So they're bringing up the fact that this is an opportunity. It is down in price at the moment, my opinion, not financial advice. So going back to the economy, we've got investors waiting to see basically the numbers for Maersk. They are reporting for their earnings. I expect them to be up basically on raising prices, not in volume. So normally I watch shipping as an indicator for the economy, but this is more going to be tied to raising prices because they have to take diversionary measures to go outside of what's going on in the Middle East. So we've got other news is Walmart shutting all health clinics in the United States over lack of profitability. So again, Walmart, another large company not able to make profit, it's a huge warning sign as well. We've got McDonald's posted rare profit miss as customers turning picky. Well, I don't think it's that they're turning picky about the food because they generally don't care so much as the pricing. Pricing has skyrocketed, a lot of this on the increased minimum wages. So consumers saying no. So that's causing trouble as well. We've got US initial jobless claims are increasing. We knew this. Even through all of the fake numbers, we know joblessness increasing and it needs to increase more. So we've got Citibank saying consumers are more cautious and emphasizing banking overhauls because they're beginning to see what's coming as well. So I wanted to bring up a few stories that I can't help myself. I have a penchant for the strange stories here. So we've got a mysterious underwater anomaly resurfacing off of Antarctica. So this had showed up, I believe it was back in January. There was a large anomaly. What it is akin to, the best I can describe, is if there were a very deep ocean explosion of massive proportion, because what it has done is raise waves for this dark area that you see here, almost like a hole, but it's the opposite. So what it has done is increase those waves and it moves. So the shifting of the basically underwater currents, and this moved up and closer to the southern point. So it's back. This has happened twice. The first time they were saying it was simply an aberration and pushed it off, but now Newsweek picking up the story. So we've also got CERN is at it again, supercharging the Large Hadron Collider. Now they're looking into increasing their design, of course, and they're talking about the next generation could unveil the universe's mysteries. So kind of messing with things that are in an outside realm. I think there has been implications they're covering up. However, we'll keep an eye on that as well. So with that, I'd like to go into something positive. We've got, with our garden pharmacy, I wanted to bring up sweet potatoes because these are a wonderful staple crop, but also with high nutrition, and they have a lot of benefits. They're easy to grow. They're a beautiful vine. You can even grow them in a pot indoors if you like. You can see how they grow. Just grow a larger pot and they got these beautiful green leaves, and then the benefit of also being a food. So they could be a perpetual food. They brought people through in past famines, and that's how good they are. So not necessarily an herb, so to speak, but they do have the benefits. High in vitamin A and C, support your immunity and brain function. So with that, I wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you kindly for being here. We'll see you all a bit later. And until I see you again, my friends, stay free.